Hello, guys, and welcome back to the Unfiltered Feed podcast. And we are into our 14th episode, and this one is a bit special because we have already recorded quite a bit of content in the last few days. So this feels like we are in a good rhythm right now. So before we dive into the world of cricket, I would like to call upon my co-host, Yash. So how was your week?
Hi, my week was very good. In fact, it's only been 2 days since we recorded last. So since then, nothing much has changed. It's obviously the weekend, so I'm enjoying. I hope you're doing the same as well.
Yeah, just the first day over, so it's a great feeling. I think Saturday night is the best time of the week,
Yeah,
or maybe close to Friday night. So,
yeah. By the way, I just want to tell the users that I'm having my dessert right now while recording. So if you see me enjoying a tasty bowl of yogurt, please don't hesitate in feeling bad because you deserve to feel bad. It's very tasty.
yeah, I think we'll recommend you guys to also take a pause, pause the thing, and go and make yourself a dessert as well.
Yeah,
So, I think there's quite a lot to talk about. So I'll quickly give you a summary as well of what we are going to cover. Uh, 'Cause I don't think you have seen the keep note yet.
yeah.
So we first start with the India versus Australia series. I think the last time we recorded, just one game had gotten over.
I think so. Yeah,
Or I think when I recorded, because
exactly.
yeah. So a couple more games have gone by. So we'll talk about the series as a whole. And then we'll go on to the Women's World Cup, where the semi-finalists have been confirmed and the semis have also been locked in. Then we'll go to a bit of a fun one with Shan Masood being appointed as the consultant of international cricket by Pakistan Cricket Board, and we'll have a few things to talk about over there. And we'll end with another series going on, or as we speak, it has just begun, which is England versus New Zealand, the ODI series, and why it is important. So that's all on the agenda this week. Anything else you would like to discuss, or are these good enough?
I think this is good enough. Uh, I obviously watched the India Australia series, but nothing more than that. So I think you will have to take the lead for the rest of the episode today.
Yeah, uh, nothing new to me. So we'll get going with the thing that you also were involved in with a lot of passion as well. So the Australia versus India ODI series, Australia did win the series 2-1, but I don't think any Indian fan remembers the scoreline anymore. And that is all because of the third ODI. But we are not Indian fans. We are cricket
We are not
fans.
just Indian fans.
Yes. So I think every other cricket fan watching this podcast deserves to know the entire story. So we will discuss everything in detail. So the first game, I think, was a week back, and India were kind of bowled away by the Australian Pacers, and the rain, which was on and off, also contributed to that. So I talked about that on the podcast last week, and I said that it's not fair to judge the Indian batting based on that one game. And after that, in Adelaide, India did put up a better show with around 260. They still lost that game, but that's another story. But the batters did show a bit more resilience. And in the third game, of course, whatever happened. So what do you think now that the series is concluded and we've got three examples set by the Indian batting? Do you think that the batting is in good hands, and uh, do you think they performed as per your expectations?
Before I start, I wanted to share one very funny and surprising stat that I saw today. Uh, so if you look at the Indian batting, the top run scorer for us obviously was Rohit Sharma. At number two, it's Akshar Patel with 75, and at number three, it's Virat Kohli with 74. So for all the fans who were speculating that Virat and Rohit will fail and it's time to remove them from the team, they still are your leading run scorers by a mile because Rohit is the only person to score 100 in this century from either teams. And Virat is as well. Even though he scored his two ducks, I think he played really well today and he showed what class he's still capable of. So I think apart from these two guys, the batting was really poor. I think the likes of Shubman Gill, Shreyas Iyer, KL Rahul, they should have contributed more because that's what you expect them to do. I think Shubman Gill was a bit unlucky in a couple of his dismissals. Plus, he was facing the most difficult conditions up front. But I was very disappointed with KL Rahul and Shreyas Iyer. KL Rahul obviously played well in that first ODI, but I mean, you expect him to stay a bit longer and score more runs. But as you said, that's a bit unfair because they were continuously playing and then going back, and they had revised overs. That's not always easy. But I think a couple of our batsmen should have had taken more responsibility and played a bit better. But apart from that, I think Rohit and Virat obviously more so Rohit Sharma because in the second match I was watching his batting and at the start he looked completely out of clue and he was struggling with anything and I was scared that he would get out and it would be kind of declared that his career is over. But he stuck in and then he got those crucial 70 runs. And then today, obviously, he looked like peak, peak Rohit Sharma. I saw the highlights, and right from the first few overs, he was timing the ball really well. So very happy with that.
Yeah. So I think in the second ODI at one point he was batting on 14 of 40. So he did well to pull it back from there and get to about 70 of 95 odd balls. So that really was not the Rohit Sharma you have been seeing in the recent years. But what he did today was really a glimpse of the real Rohit Sharma, and not quite the 2023 highs, but I think his role in that team was different from the one he's playing right now, or at least in this series, with the conditions being tough up front. So this was more of the 2019 mold, which was I won't mind that as a
Yeah.
fan. I
If he's
think,
back to scoring his daddy hundreds, then
yeah.
obviously that's a very good thing.
So what I felt was that now that he's no longer the captain, I think he is back to Rohit Sharma before he was the captain, which is hanging in there and getting those big runs, which was equally important. And I think he now believes that the rest of the team will put up the quick runs. I think we'll get a better picture when they play the next series in India because the conditions here were really not the average conditions you get in international cricket. So, out of the three games, I watched just the third one, uh, and I think I was pretty lucky because I got to watch the entire Indian batting only in the third game. I woke up at around 3 o'clock or 2:50, and I checked that Indian batting had just begun. So I just couldn't resist myself and I hopped on and I watched till the last ball and even the interview which Rohit and Kohli had with Gilchrist and Ravi Shastri. So it's quite the experience. And I think Virat Kohli also looked in sublime form along with Rohit Sharma. Rohit Sharma, of course, did score runs in the last game as well, but Virat Kohli needed to score, which he did. But now coming to the series as a whole, I think you did mention that other than Rohit Sharma, no one really consistently performed on either teams, to be honest, because the conditions were tough. But I think now that Shubman Gill is uh, pretty experienced, he's no longer a rookie, he's the captain. So I expected him to step up in at least one of the three games because he's the only one who, apart from Rohit and Kohli, who got to play all three games. So I did expect him to step up in one of the three, but I think you can't really uh, say much and talk about his position in the side based on the series because he's got unbelievable numbers. So we just hope that he comes back to his own in the future. So other than that, I think Akshar Patel, as you mentioned, was also really good. I never realized how he put up 75 runs in 2 innings. Uh, he did have vital contributions, though both of them ended up in losing calls, but still he played really well. And the one thing that I really liked was the bowling from India. Even in the second game, they pulled things really well to make a match out of it. And I think there were a couple of catches away from winning that game. They dropped a couple and that's how they lost. So a lot of criticism of Harshit Rana's inclusion famously. So do you think his selection was justified as he picked up a 4 for in the third game?
Yeah, I think I was against picking him initially, but obviously I hadn't watched a lot of him. But I think he was India's leading wicket taker in this series, so he justified his selection in the team. I didn't watch the match or India's bowling at least today. I obviously watched the highlights and I saw the wickets that he took, but in general, the way he bowled, I'm not really sure of that. But obviously, if he's the leading wicket taker for India, then he obviously did well. And yeah, it's good that they've backed him and he's finally delivering. So I hope he continues this and becomes our one of our lead bowlers in the absence of someone like a Bumrah. Because after Shami, I don't think we really have someone of that capability. Obviously, Siraj is there, but Siraj is still quite inconsistent sometimes. So you obviously need someone from the other side who can also put pressure in the absence of
Yeah,
Bumrah.
I
So I think,
was going to come to that point that Siraj really showed a lot of experience and calmness with the ball in this series. Uh, I think finally he is becoming that bowler that we always wanted him to become. As a leader again, he plays very differently when Bumrah is around as compared to when he is the leader.
yeah,
And I think Siraj was consistently good in the series. He did not have wickets to show for, but uh, from just watching him, I think he did really well. And I think you guys can expect a shot coming with me and my predictions again because I had made this prediction before. And I think we made a shot of that as well, that Harshit Rana is why is he being picked and why do I feel that it's a correct choice? So I won't say that he's proven everyone right, uh, but he's on in the right direction. That's what I feel. Those four wickets weren't exactly of the highest quality, but just the fact that he is at least consistently being able to bowl according to a given plan, that itself is a good start for him. And I think from what I can make out, Gautam Gambhir's plan for the World Cup seems to be Bumrah, Siraj, and one of Arshdeep and Harshit Rana, along with Hardik as the fourth pacer. So that's quite a lot of bowling. So I think Arshdeep and Harshit will fight for that one spot in the playing 11. So it's good to see some vision for the team, if that's what I believe it is. So other than that, there's nothing really much to talk about. Uh, Anything you would like to add from the Australian team that caught your eye?
I was very impressed with their newer players, especially the likes of Matt Renshaw. But obviously, I've seen him. He came to India, I think, about 10 years ago for a test series. But it was nice to see him perform. I think he played well. And I was also impressed with Cooper Connolly. I think the way they finished the second game, I think him and Alex Carey, both of them, they played well and they finished the game off. Because at one point they were in a bit of a trouble when they had lost 4 wickets for around 130. But from there they kept their calm and they played off the Indian spinners and then the pacers eventually. So these two guys impressed me quite a lot.
Yeah, Cooper Conley indeed was really good. And I think Mitch Owen also was, I think he's the one who helped them win the second game in that partnership with Conley. So all in all, can't really talk much because I don't think more than one from these players would feature in the Australian team in the near future because Green and Labuschagne would replace them, but it's good to know what your backups can deliver. So I think now we'll move on to the T20 series. We won't talk about it now, but that's the next assignment for this Indian side. And it starts on Wednesday, so by the time we record our next episode, I think a couple of games would have gone by and we'll have an idea about that series as well. So now let us shift focus to the Women's World Cup. There's not a lot of focus on that in the recent past. Uh, I think today I was also kind of excited to watch the women's game between Australia and South Africa because of the stature and both teams being 1 and 2 on the points table. But it ended even before I realized that the game had begun, as Alana King got a 7 for 18 and got rolled out South Africa for 98. So Australia finished first in the group. India finished fourth, which means that India and Australia will face each other in the semi-final, which is the second semi-final. So I don't think it's going to be a smooth sailing ride for India. And the semi is in Navi Mumbai, DY Patil Stadium. So a good batting track. So what do you think? Are India's chances bright, or they never really were going to compete against Australia?
I think looking at their recent matches, India have given Australia a pretty good fight. I think earlier in the year, we became the first team to score 300 against them. Um, and then, or while chasing, I guess, I don't know. And then in the World Cup match as well, we scored 300 plus again, but they chased it down. But so I think in terms of cricketing quality, I think we are pretty close. It all comes down to the nerves because this is a World Cup semi-final And
That is
obviously,
where we are really bad at historically.
obviously there will be a lot of fans since it's your home World Cup. So if the big players like Smriti Mandhana or Harmanpreet Kaur or one of our bowlers, if they deliver on the occasion and if they score a big century or they pick up a fifer, then I don't see any reason for why we shouldn't be able to beat them. But it all comes down to handling the pressure.
Yeah, and what is surprising is that, not really surprising, but it's a great start to know that the top scorers of this tournament so far, first is Smriti Mandhana and second is Pratika Rawal, the two openers from India, and no one else is in the top 15 for India after that. But all have been in pretty decent. Like, I think Richa Ghosh has played a good knock here and there. Harmanpreet, Jemima, all of them are in form. The first couple of games they were off, but since that they have really been in good form. So I'm more worried about our bowling, but I think India have a 2% chance of defeating Australia. That is what
2%.
I personally feel. Australia is just way too strong, and I don't see how India can win. The only thing that can really help India would be a Harmanpreet Kaur masterclass. Other than that, even if Smriti Mandhana scores a double hundred, I don't see India winning. That is my very straightforward prediction, which I will take credit for after I see them losing.
Well, I'll see you next week when India will be playing South Africa, let's say, for the World Cup. A new winner, finally.
Two contrasting predictions. Let's see about that. So now I would like to move on to my favorite news of the week, which is the Pakistan Cricket Board appointed Shan Masood as the consultant of international cricket. So they basically invented this new position, and according to their press release, the job of the consultant of international cricket is to uh, handle international cricket operations and plan, execute, and oversee international tours. So this is a really uh, incredible thing. And for those who don't know, Shan Masood is the current Test captain,
Yeah.
and he's been given an administrative position at the same time. And I don't think I've ever seen this in any sport. So I had a conspiracy theory related to this. So before that, I would like to know your opinion.
Yeah, when you first told me about this, I thought you were joking because there's absolutely no chance that this should have happened because he's your test captain and that's already a very difficult job, especially in Pakistan. And the responsibilities that you mentioned, they are quite a lot because if it was just about deciding which tours to organize or giving his suggestions to the board, that would have been understandable. But actually organizing the matches, the venues, that's a bit too much for a current playing for a current player. Leave aside the captain. So I don't know why they did this or what's the reasoning behind this, but I'm very curious to know why this happened and how he agreed to take this responsibility.
Yeah, so that is really weird. So what I'm thinking is that the reasoning they gave was that Pakistan play very few test matches. So this is a way for him to stay involved with the system, which is absolutely bizarre because you don't have to give him an official position for that to happen. You just need some communication and you're good. But that's not what they thought. So what I feel is that one, the first theory that I came up with was that they just wanted to make to give someone this job, and so they basically created this role and they appointed Shan Masood for it, and then in a few days' time they'll say that he's not good enough, and then they will remove him and appoint the one they originally wanted to appoint. And that is how they just created a new role in this setup, which was not even, which didn't even exist in the first place, just to accommodate one of their representatives or someone who they wanted to get into the system. And my second guess would be that they wanted to remove him from the captaincy, but they didn't want to directly show, because anyone else that they appoint, there will be links made to how this is unfair and how Pakistan were on the upward trajectory in Test cricket. So the next logical thing that they could think of was to still keep him in the system, but uh, just not the captain. And I think he's 36 years old, so he might just retire from cricket completely by the time they play the next test, which is only in March. So a lot of things could happen, but it's quite weird that uh, he has been appointed as at an administrative position before he has retired from his playing career.
Yeah. I think the second reason feels a bit more realistic because that is something that they would do. I can imagine them doing it. Or to be honest, it could just be something from his side where he actually wants to contribute. We can't obviously rule that out, but yeah, very strange. One of the strangest news that I've heard in a long time.
Yeah, and the other news, which was a bit more frustrating as a uh, frustrating to see Pakistan Cricket Board dealing with, is that they removed Mohammad Rizwan from ODI captaincy and appointed Shaheen Shah Afridi as the new captain. But what disappointed me was that Shaheen, who had come back from an injury, was just about getting into his groove and his speed's going up back. He's just about feeling like he's back to his best, and now they burdened him with ODI captaincy, which means he will, of course, have to play a lot of ODIs. And I just don't like that because I can see him, I can see his graph going downwards again, just as it was coming back to the highs that are expected of him. So that isn't the best of moves, is what I feel, but they obviously think differently. Mohammad Rizwan was appointed as the ODI captain only in October of 2024, so within 1 year he's gone and they have a new captain. So these things keep changing in Pakistan cricket, and what interests me is that they've got 6 ODIs coming up in the next from 4th to 14th. So in that 10 days period, they have 6 ODIs. So, and all of them at home. So this could be a great opportunity for Shaheen to maybe step up and prove this decision to be right. Uh, so a lot of ODI cricket coming up, and with the new rule, that is what I'm interested to see. How does the new ball after 35 rule really affect games in Asia?
Yeah, that's true. Um, I think Pakistan they really need some continuity because their cricket has been it's I think at an all-time low now. They are losing to even associate teams now slowly. They lost to USA obviously, and in the Asia Cup as well they struggled. Although they played the final, they didn't. They weren't the best, the second best team in the tournament, obviously. So they need some continuity, and I hope Shaheen and Shan Masood and whoever the T20 captain is now. I think it's Agha Salman. All of them. They should. I hope they take them forward because Pakistan, they need cricket and cricket needs Pakistan.
Yeah, that's a very straightforward way to put it. So I would like to come to a final point of the day already, which is the England versus New Zealand series and why it has more meaning uh, than it looks. So as we're speaking, the first ODI is going on,
Oh,
and England are 70 for 6.
oh no.
And one of my favorites, which is Zachary Folks, is a new one. He's picked up 4 wickets. And first of all, this is a big series because a couple of big guns are back. So both teams are playing basically the full strength squads. Though in the first ODI, as I can see, Devon Conway has been dropped from the team. And for England, they've rested Jofra Archer. But other than that, New Zealand are playing Rachin Ravindra, Daryl Mitchell, Tom Latham, and the big man Kane Williamson is back playing for them. The first time since the Champions Trophy. And Santner is obviously the captain. And even for England, Joe Root is back playing ODI cricket. Josh Buttler, Jacob Bethel, Harry Brooks is the captain, Ben Duckett, and Sam Curran is back into the setup as well. So both teams are pretty much full strength. And why England, who are going to play an Ashes series in 1 month's time, less than 1 month, why are they really playing a full strength ODI team in in New Zealand, of all places, is a interesting question, which I will answer because they're
Only you
playing
know it.
for the world, they're playing for the ICC ranking. And as you know, the ODI World Cup is around the corner. A lot of talk from an Indian point of view, but even for other countries, it is a lot of it's a big tournament. So top 8 teams will automatically qualify, and there's a deadline, the cutoff date. I think it is in February of 26, which is 1 year before the World Cup starts. So till then, at that cutoff date, whatever the top 8 teams are, they will directly qualify. If you remember, in for the last World Cup, they had a ODS Super League, which
Yeah,
they discontinued. I don't know why. It was a good way to make ODIs relevant, but they went back to the ranking cutoff. So England currently are eighth and top 8 qualify. So that is the reason why they are playing full strength because even a 3-0 win, I just checked this on the rankings predictor. Even a 3-0 win doesn't take them above uh, New Zealand. It doesn't take them up. It keeps them on 8th. So
and
they
what
would,
happens if they lose the series? Do they drop down or do they stay there?
that is something that I didn't check. But Afghanistan are scheduled to play a series versus Zimbabwe, and Afghanistan are 7th.
Okay.
So uh, that's the only way they can come out of the 8th place. So they are 8th. It doesn't really matter because 8th place team also qualifies. But West Indies are 9th, and they are playing a series against New Zealand next in New Zealand. But if they win, chances are that they might go up if England do not win the series. And then there isn't a lot of cricket left after that,
Yeah,
considering February is the time the T20 World Cup will be played.
Yeah, but I'm sure England will organize a tour of Ireland, Netherlands, Scotland, so that their ODI team plays all these teams and improves the ranking. But the fact that they are in this situation itself is really sad because they won the World Cup in 2019, and from there, now struggling to make it through to the top eight. It's sad given that the teams above them must be the likes of Sri Lanka, Pakistan, Afghanistan, all of whom we know are not as good as England. It's just that England haven't played to their best potential. And I think they've played a lot of their cricket in the Asia region, which makes it a bit difficult for them.
Yeah, and uh, in the top eight, we're not even talking about Bangladesh, who are at
Yeah.
10th place, which is an all-time low for them. So I did remember a lot of people asking why Bangladesh are playing on such poor tracks at home. What will they gain by defeating someone like a West Indies on these tracks? They won't improve their cricket. So the answer is supposedly now pretty obvious that they too wanted to gain some points because they don't want to come through the qualifiers either. So they did drop a match versus West Indies, which is really shocking. That was the super over game.
Oh,
So
okay.
West Indies, Bangladesh, and England are in a fight for qualification unless Afghanistan lose to the 11th place to Zimbabwe, and then even their qualification is in jeopardy. I hope
But
ICC makes this a bit more evident so that fans get engaged because I don't think a lot of people know about this going on. So if they can just release scenarios for the upcoming series, I think that would help engage a lot more fans in this.
yeah,
What were you saying?
I was saying that uh, having only the top eight teams out of 14 qualify, it it feels a bit unfair. Since you have 14 teams, I think they should increase this to 10 so that the top 10 ranked ODI teams make it straight to the World Cup, and then you have four spots, which is still quite a lot. You obviously don't want six teams to come through qualifiers because that's almost 50%. I think it's a weird ratio. Uh, but yeah, this is how it is. But I hope England make it through. They wouldn't want to risk it in the qualifiers because then they'll have to, play their best 11 even over there, and then it kind of risks
Yeah,
injuries as well.
and what is even worse is this also has a direct impact on the associates because, for example, if you have West Indies coming through the qualifiers, they'll obviously come from the Americas region. So one of USA or Canada will be sacrificed because West Indies have to come. And similarly for Europe, that is
Yeah.
where England will come from. So one of Netherlands, Ireland, and Scotland will have to make way for England.
So all of
So
those teams would be praying that England win.
yeah, so that is what I've thought made this a really interesting situation, which ICC can really capitalize on and just create a kind of buzz even around the World Cup through this
I think
because
that's
there's
a bit too much of
yeah
expectations because we have a T20 World Cup coming in less than 3 months, and there's absolutely no buzz. No one knows anything about the tournament, whether it's happening or not. That's obviously not the question, but I think they'll announce the schedule one week before at this rate. So it's really sad.
yeah, it really is, and that is how ICC likes to operate in partnership with BCCI. Uh, so that is pretty much all that I wanted to talk about, and I hope through this podcast people get to know about this qualification scenario. So in a way, we are doing service to ICC. So just waiting for the money to roll in from them.
Yeah, so I think today was a bit shorter. We are light on content, obviously. Uh,
Still, we managed to stretch it to 40.
yeah, I think this is a bit of an off season in cricket. Now we'll have the Ashes, and then you'll have the IPL auction. Then India's home season starts, and then the cricket season will peak at the IPL eventually. Before that, the World Cup, obviously. So these couple of weeks are going to be a bit dry, but then we'll have a lot of things to talk on.
Yes, so until we have a lot of things to talk on, uh, we will continue to pour in and trickle down content and squeeze every bit of content from the cricketing world. So,
Elsewhere in the world of F1, things are getting really crazy because uh, Max Verstappen all of a sudden has shrunk the gap from 104 to 40. And today it was the Mexican GP qualifying, and now Norris is in first place, Verstappen is in fifth, and Piastri is in seventh. So now suddenly Norris has a golden opportunity to take control of the title. So it's very exciting. Unfortunately, we have kind of reduced our coverage of F1, but I think it
yeah,
deserves its own special episode.
that was what I was thinking as well. Just like we have a special episode dedicated to a special series dedicated to IPL, I think F1 deserves at least one episode. So I think we'll come up with that soon, before it's too late, hopefully. So
Plus,
till then,
I think we have our game show coming up soon because October is going to end.
oh yeah.
So,
So I think we have to record that in the middle of the week, so that we keep up with our series.
and
So
and you might expect a very special guest uh, called Konya. We'll not tell more about it now. We'll see when it happens.
yeah, so you'll get to know. It's going to be a very interesting week with a possibility of 3 episodes in the next week. So stay tuned for all of that. And until that, it's me, Ved, signing off.
Bye bye.
Wanna know all your secrets hiding. I wanna be part of your life, yeah.